General safety. What is the value of being safe? What would it be like if there was no safety? Did you know that all accidents are caused by something called hazards? Safety practices or a safety mindset can keep you from getting injured. Do you really like getting hurt? It is always our hope and intention that you will leave here every day a little bit better than when you walked in the door. That means a little smarter than you were and not hurt in any way. Your safety and the safety of others is your business, and it is everyone else's business too. You need to look out for your safety and the safety of everyone else. Safety is everyone's business. Safety is learning what can hurt you and how to keep from getting hurt. Safety is knowing what the hazards are and how to lessen the likelihood that the accident will happen. Safety is being ready for the accident when it does happen, so that you or no one is injured. In other words, safety is knowing what can go wrong, how to keep it from going wrong, and how to be ready for when the accident does happen. First aid is what is needed to happen when everything does go wrong and it results in an injury, but first aid is beyond the scope of today's lesson. Today's lesson is all about avoiding the need for first aid with what we will call the 4 E's of safety. Absolutely all accidents are caused by something that we call a hazard. It is not possible for an accident to happen where there is not a hazard. Sometimes no one is aware of the hazard until the accident happens. This is the value of studying accidents. We learn more about the hazards. Keep in mind that our knowledge of hazards helps us reduce the number of accidents, and our knowledge of hazards helps us greatly reduce the number of injuries. Yes, that's right. Not all accidents result in injuries. This is why we have personal protective equipment like seatbelts, hard hats, eye protection, hearing protection, and gloves. Discuss with your class a time when you could have been injured from an accident, but you were not, thanks to some form of personal protective equipment. Then, on a sheet of paper with your full name at the top, write a short, well-written paragraph about what your points were in the discussion. The 4 E's of safety are elimination, engineering, education, and elimination. Since it's not possible for an accident to happen if there is not a hazard, elimination of the known hazard is the first E of safety. Let me give you an example. If there is a large hole in the middle of the floor, you could step in it, fall, and break a leg. The hole is the hazard. Stepping in the hole is the accident, and breaking your leg is the injury, and first aid is what would be needed. But again, such is beyond the scope of today's lesson. Once the hazard has been identified, the hole in the floor, consider if it can simply be eliminated. That is, simply get rid of the hazard, fill it in, and it is not possible to step in the hole that is no longer there. The hazard has been identified, and it has been eliminated. It is now not possible for the accident to happen. This is the first E of safety, elimination. Elimination of the hazard. Discuss with your class a time when you recognize a hazard and what you did about it. Then, on the same sheet of paper as before, write a brief paragraph about the hazard that you identified and what you did about it. Now we move on to the second E of safety, engineering. If there is a reason that the hazard can't be eliminated, then something can be designed or engineered to protect people from the hazard. Let's go back to the example of the hole in the floor. If there is a need for there to be a hole in the floor, it simply can't be filled in, then something must be done to make the hazard safer. Perhaps a cover plate could be put in place, or a railing could be installed around the hole. These two things would make the hazard safer. The hazard still exists, but now something has been engineered to make it safer. Something has been engineered to greatly reduce the risk of an accident and thus an injury. Discuss with your class a time when you recognized a hazard and you designed something to make the hazard less dangerous. Then, on the same sheet of paper, write a short paragraph that explains how you identified the hazard and what you did about it. Now we move to the third E of safety, education. Sometimes an identified hazard can't be eliminated and nothing can be engineered to protect people from the hazard. When this is the case, people must be educated about the hazard. We will use the hole in the floor as the example. Let's say that there's a reason that the hole must be in the floor, and let's say that there is a reason that a guard can't be put in place or hasn't yet been put in place. Then we must educate people about the hazard. You know, hey everybody, look out over here. There's a hole in the floor. Be aware of it. That is helping to educate others about the hazard. Let me give you a few more examples of known hazards that can't be eliminated or completely engineered away. A saw is an example. It is designed to cut things. Taking away the blade would make it safer, but then it would no longer be a useful tool. It is possible that the saw could be designed to completely cover the blade, but then you could not get any material into the saw to be cut. With the saw, we can take steps to identify the hazards, and we can take steps to engineer guards, but if you can get a piece of wood into the saw, you can get your hand in there too. It is important that you become educated about the hazards of the saw and how to use the engineered guards. There will be accidents with a saw. You just want to make sure that when the accidents do happen, that they do not result in an injury. Another example of a known hazard that can't be eliminated nor completely engineered away is a hammer. Yes, that's right. A simple hammer is a hazard, so you must be educated about its safe use. As a matter of fact, all known tools in the known universe are hazardous to some degree. So that is why it's important that you do not use a tool until you know how to safely use the tool. You must have a safety attitude. If someone sees you not using a tool correctly or in an unsafe way, and that person brings this to your attention, you should not take this as an attack on you, but that the other person is looking out for your best interest. It's the same with others. If you see another person being unsafe, it is your duty and responsibility to respectfully bring this to the other person's attention. Safety is everyone's job, duty, and responsibility. Oh yeah, the fourth E of safety. It is sort of like the first E of safety, only it's different. The first E of safety is to eliminate the hazard, while the fourth E of safety is to eliminate the hazardous person. When a person refuses to be educated about safety, then that person must be eliminated. I don't mean to take the person out back and put him in the dumpster, but for the safety of that person and the safety of all others, the hazardous person should be removed from the environment wherein he or she could bring harm to him or herself or to others. On the sheet of paper, write down the 4 E's of safety: elimination, engineer, education, and elimination. Discuss in small groups each of these, and in well-written examples, explain each of the 4 E's. And finally, discuss in your groups the following, and write a well-written paragraph to the following question. What would it be like if we had no safety guidelines?